What's up, everybody? I just wanted to take a minute to talk about this guy, the Savannah Monitor. This is my boy Samson. He's about 2 years old, and he's pretty healthy, as you can see. He's at a healthy weight. He's at a good size. He's about 3.5 foot, and yeah, I've had him since he was little. He was wild caught, imported Savannah Monitor, as most of them are, and he's done pretty well for himself here. I'm proud of how far he's come. Anyway, on to the care video. First thing I want to talk about is cage size. Cage size is one of the most important things for these guys, and it's one of the things I see wrong in most YouTube videos. A lot of people on YouTube, they have a video and they have a little baby Savannah Monitor, and they have it in a fish tank. And they want to make a care video telling you how to care for a Savannah Monitor. Just because you have a baby Savannah Monitor does not mean you know how to care for them properly. A fish tank is never a good idea for a Savannah Monitor. One, it's not big enough. Two, it can't hold enough substrate. And three, what a screen top does in a fish tank, which most of them come with a screen top, is it's going to let cold air in from your house. That's going to flow down into the tank, push out your heat, and along with your heat goes your humidity. That is a problem. It can cause dehydration. It can cause your lizard to be lethargic from being too cold. It's just not good. It's a bad thing to get into, and I've never kept Samson in a fish tank. He's always been in a wooden enclosure. It's just always worked out better for me, and that's what I would recommend 100%. Alright, besides cage size, second thing that's most important, in my opinion, is substrate. These guys require deep, deep substrate. I have over a foot of dirt in here. Real dirt. You don't want coconut fiber. You don't want wood chips. Wood chips are horrible. You don't want any of that nonsense they're going to sell to you at the pet store. Go to Home Depot. Go to Lowe's. Grab the cheapest bag of topsoil you can find and fill your cage with that. They will do just fine on that. They'll actually do perfect on that because these guys like to dig. As you can see, he makes holes all over his enclosure. He's got one over there as well. These guys are diggers. They're going to dig burrows. They're going to be underground a lot of the time. And that serves two purposes. One, it's shelter for them. And two, they dig for what's called a microclimate, which is a pocket of humidity underground. This helps their respiratory system, not respiratory infection. It helps their respiratory system. It helps them from getting dehydrated. And yeah, humidity is a big deal. That's part of the reason for the burrow. Another plus to letting your Savannah Monitor burrow is it keeps them strong and healthy. It builds muscles. It's going to burn fat off of them. It's going to keep them active. And those are all great things for your lizard and extending his life. What's he checking out now? As you can see, these guys are very smart lizards. He's looking around. He's checking me out. He's checking out the dirt, trying to see if I've got any food for him. And he knows he's on camera. Licking his lips. They're very smart, and I'm making this video because I think they deserve a lot more care and a lot more respect than is given to them. They're wonderful animals, but they aren't for everybody. As you can see, they get large. They need a big cage. They like a lot of humidity. Another thing I see is a lot of people want to free-range monitor lizards, and that is terrible because this kind of humidity will destroy your house. It will literally dry rot your floors. Sheetrock doesn't do well with a lot of humidity. It's just awful for you, awful for your house. And you'll never get it humid enough for these guys in your house. So free roaming is bad. Third thing I want to talk about is heat. This basking spot here is 150 plus degrees. Let me find my heat gun real quick. I'll show you. Not quite accurate, but 146. And that's only on one point. So you want it as close to 150 degrees as possible. I know that seems hot. Most people are going to say, oh, it doesn't get that hot in Africa. Go outside, get a heat gun, measure the temperature on the sidewalk or the road. I guarantee you it gets that hot on an 80-degree day. Ambient temperature for these guys should be around 80 degrees on the cool side, 90 plus degrees on the hot side. That's another thing I see on YouTube videos is a lot of fat, lethargic Savannah monitors. That could be because of heat, or it could be because of diet. These guys should be active all the time if heated properly. Samson constantly moves, and he's constantly investigating everything. Another way to tell if your spot is too cold. If your lizard is just laying there for 20 minutes, you probably need to give him more heat. Samson basks for 5, maybe 6 minutes at a time, but then he gets up and he runs around. That's what you want. You want them to be up, you want them to be active. That way they don't get fat or lazy. Alright, the last thing I want to talk about is diet. This is very controversial about these guys. Some people say feeding them mice is fine. A lot of people say insects only. I feed a little bit of both. And he's done fine. I feed insects every day. I feed mice once every 2 weeks. And I only feed them 2 mice. Just because I like feeding mice. It's fun to watch. Pre-killed. I mean, frozen thawed, obviously. Not live. But it's just cool to see him snatch up a mouse. That's pretty much it. The diet's pretty simple. You're going to feed him crickets, roaches. I feed him grasshoppers and night crawlers mostly, just because they're bigger and it seems like it'd be a more filling meal. But I've known a lot of people say roaches. I've known people that use crickets and do fine. Any kind of insects like that will really do. And you can actually just throw the live insects in the cage and let him forage for them and dig for them. He's looking at you guys. What's up? See how smart he is? These guys do not need UVB light. I have UVB light just to help light up the cage a little more. But they don't need it. It's proven that they don't need it. Their bones do just fine. They're not very prone to metabolic bone disease. Nothing like that. I have 2 small water dishes in here. He flipped one over earlier, which is why it's empty. Some people say to have a big water dish, but all I found is that he goes in there, swims around a little bit, and then poops in the water dish. And when you have a 6-gallon water dish, it's kind of annoying to have to clean that every single day. So I went down to a smaller water dish, which I almost never see him use, by the way. But they do drink, so you want to have some kind of water dish for them. That's pretty much all there is to talk about as far as basic care goes for these guys. They're a wonderful pet lizard if kept properly. And like I said, they're just not for everyone. They get really big. And another thing is their attitude. I want to be honest about their attitude. These are not cuddly lizards. They're not exactly the nicest lizards. They're pretty grumpy. There's a fly in his cage. Ew. They're pretty grumpy. He'll come to me on his terms, but it has to be on his terms. I kind of let him dictate the relationship. There's a lot of people out there with taming videos. The best way I've found to tame these guys is just leave them alone. Let them come to you. Once they establish that bond and that trust with you, they shouldn't be aggressive towards you. Like I said, he can get grumpy. He'll whip me every once in a while. But I've never taken a bite from him. And the whips aren't all that bad. Anyway, that's the basics on Savannah Monitor Care. I hope you guys liked the video. And yeah, later.